Alright, so beginning of day 2, just landed off for the tour of White Gold. We flew about 20 minutes south from Dawson City. Right behind those hills over there apparently is where the coffee deposit is, about 15 miles that way. They told us that once coffee puts in the road, they would be able to drive up to the property. Getting a safety briefing though for the helicopter now, and yeah, then going on the tour. After that I'll do an interview with one of the guys, ask them some of the annoying questions as always, and taking you along for the ride. All right, so we've just arrived at White Gold. David, let's have a look at what you have here. This is with your camp.
Yeah, this is the Thistle Camp. Welcome. It's a 100-person camp with our airstrip that we just landed on.
Okay.
This is where the magic happens. Our flagship gold and saddle deposit is just over the hill. The guys are coming back from there right now. Okay. But yeah, come.
We're going to go and look at the Saddle Hill deposit?
Yes.
Okay. So this is your core shack right here?
Yep. That's where it is, and so we just drove in from the strip. As you guys saw, about 20 minutes outside of Dawson on a fixed wing. Yeah. Very easily accessible. This network of roads, placer roads, they connect basically the whole territory all the way up to Dawson. You can actually drive down from Dawson on these placer roads. You guys saw how busy it is. There's so much gold in these creeks. Yeah. What's really incredible though, this road system is going to be upgraded by the government as part of the Resource Gateway program. They're spending over $350 million in the territory specifically to support mining and exploration. Right. So that's a huge bonus for us. Right here we have our core shack. Yeah. So we'll be doing a tour of this in a little bit once the geos come down, but here, you know, we've got a good demonstration of what we've, you know, some of our best rocks. We've now delineated 4 different ore zones, sort of in a close 10-kilometer radius here. Just kind of, I think, you know, we really cracked the code. We saw what led to those discoveries, and in the next few years, we're going to continue expanding and making new discoveries within this area, right? As you know, the best way to find gold is near an existing deposit, so we're really excited about that. But we're also have reinterpreted a lot of the data in and around our existing deposits, and we're going to be doing more work there. We think each of those can increase substantially above the 2.3 million ounces we have now, in addition to making new discoveries. And as you'll see, as you look at these core boxes, the grade here is exceptional. I think these are amongst the highest grade borals in the Yukon. I think we have the highest grade deposit.
What's the profile of what you're looking for?
So the core of our deposit, 1.2 million ounces indicated at 2.12 grams per ton. That's exceptional. And then the balance in for another million and change at a little under 2 grams. So it's about 1.71 grams per ton. It's the 5th highest grade deposit in all of Canada, over 2 million ounces. I think the highest grade deposit in the Yukon right now, all open pit.
So what do you want to do with it? Is that, are you looking to build it? Are you looking for someone?
Right now, we're going to take it to the next level and look to put economics on it. We've done an internal scoping study. We really like how that looked. We're going to look to do a PA this year. With the grade, with it coming to surface, with the size, we expect to have a very, very robust project. Yeah, so here's a lot of the, you know, at all these camps, there's typical different setups, right? We have the work shed, the core cutting shack just on the other here. That's the generator shack where we generate all the power. As we move down here, we have some of the water pumping shed. Beside that's the first aid shed. And then down here is our kitchen. Okay. I don't know how many of these camps you've been to, but one thing that's very important when you have remote camps, you got to have good food. Yeah. So we have some great chefs, and you know, got to keep the team happy, and it's a fun part of the job. Obviously, working in this beautiful country is a blessing, and we try to make it as enjoyable as possible for everyone, keep everyone coming back. We have a really great track record. How many people stay at this camp? It can fit up to actually 100 people. You know, right now we'll probably have about 25 at this point in time, but it varies throughout the season depending on what we're doing. Okay.
Well, so you say infrastructure is not a problem. They often say that's one of the challenges of the Yukon. But what about water and power? Again, you have diesel generators here.
Yeah, diesel generators for now. Listen, with the Yukon, there's always room for improvement. You heard the Premier yesterday talk about the project to bring hydro connecting to BC. That's right. But in the meantime, all these other projects like the coffee, they've been permitting using this similar type of access to power. Water is, you know, pretty readily accessible. You see all the creek beds here where the guys are doing the placer mining, which you probably saw is incredibly active. It's been 100 years. They're still placer mined. They're still finding gold, over 20 million ounces right in the creeks, and no one's really started drilling until we have. And
why not? I mean, that's an important question too, right? Like, if it's that obvious, you love
that's exactly that's the smart question. That's the first question we asked as Power One Group when we got invested in here, and it was actually a pretty straightforward answer. This area of Canada has never been glaciated, so there's no outcrop. Most prospectors, they look for outcrop, they see the rock, and that's how they take their sample, they bring it to the lab and they test it. With no outcrop, that doesn't work. So Sean Ryan, our partner, and he's the mastermind behind all this. He, in his mind, is like, yeah, there's 20 million ounces, didn't come from the sky, I'm going to find it. He gets here, figures this out, so he had to use a different methodology to find it. What he keyed in on was soil geochemistry. Now that is different every place, it's used elsewhere in the world, but it's based on looking for pathfinder elements in this topsoil to indicate what the mineralogy will be below. But it's not always the same. So it took him years and years to figure out what the relationships were. Once he honed into what he thought worked, that's when he invested in drilling and was immediately successful. He made this discovery, he discovered the coffee, and now we really feel like we've cracked the code, and that's why we're so optimistic about the opportunity to make more and more discoveries in our land package, which is 700,000 acres. It's actually the largest land package of any company in the Yukon right now.
How? Let's maybe just keep walking around that way and show what else. How's the permitting process? Another one of the sort of risks that people told me there is with the Yukon is long permitting timelines. What does that look like for you? How would you have to
for us at this point in the exploration stage, it's been fine. We're fully permitted for everything we need to do. As you advance your projects, now you're bringing in different types of permitting, environmental studies, First Nation studies, and for us, we're really fortunate, and this is the traditional territory of the Klondike They have been part of this mining scene in the Yukon with the placer community for over 100 years. They've been quite supportive, and what's nice for us, the coffee project has just gone through its permitting process. We've seen it happen. We see it works. Properly integrated with all stakeholders, including the First Nation. So it's doable. You're right. Historically, I think there's been a lot of red tape and it's slowed down, but I think what we've seen in Canada, what we've seen in Yukon, you heard the Premier speak yesterday, there is a major initiative across the country to get that permitting process accelerated. I think Canada realizes now that this is their opportunity to really sort of advance the country economically, and right from the federal to the territorial government, we're seeing, they're saying the right things. It's new, but let's see how it pans out.
What about expensive to drill? That's another one of the sort of things that I get. Oh, the people are sleeping over that way then?
Exactly.
Okay. We'll fly over with the drone and show that on camera. But what about expensive to drill? How cheap is it?
There's no doubt it's more expensive to drill here than it might be somewhere like in Ontario or Quebec where you have road accessibility. This is another reason why once these roads go in, it's going to be so beneficial to us. Most of the work's helicopter supported now, but once the roads are in, it'll be vehicle supported, a lot cheaper. But what is the most value that's going to create is now any ore zone you find is basically going to be economical. Because I would say in the next few years, we're going to have two facilities in this area. We're going to have the coffee in production. We're going to have, hopefully a production site here. That's a heap leach. This will be a mill. And basically, like any camp, once you find an ore zone, once the roads are there, you can just truck it to one of the facilities. And that's how a camp evolves. So here, it really feels like all the dominoes are set up. Coffee's there, permitted. We have, the biggest, highest grade deposit in the Yukon here. We're making new discoveries. The roads are coming in. And I think once the shovels get in the ground, once the permitting's done, they're all going to start to fall, and we're going to have the development of a real camp.
Okay. What's left of this trip? I think the guys are going in the kitchen, getting hopefully a coffee.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
we're gonna have a bit of an update, and all the technical guys will go see the rock. It's some of the best looking rock you've ever seen, and people I think really get excited when they understand the high grade nature of this deposit. Right, in Canada, a lot of the deposits open pit are gram or less. We're over 2 grams, and that's really going to drive the economics. Sure, we're in this wonderful gold environment. For us, we plan for much lower grade gold. Anything above that's going to be gravy. So we're just super excited to continue moving that down the path. We think that mine's a real money maker. I think the market here is now starting to be receptive to the smaller exploration companies, but I think white gold really sits at the top of that next group of companies because it has the goods. We've done it, we've proved it. We have shown the world that there's a lot of gold in these hills, and we're just like really starting to now take that science that we used to make this discovery and apply it to the rest of our portfolio. And not only gold, we also have some incredible base metal targets. We have 2 huge copper porphyry targets right beside Casino. That's the largest critical minerals deposit in Canada. So the Yukon has been overlooked, I think, for the last 10 years, but I think from an exploration potential, it's tops in Canada. I think the permitting is happening, and we've done it, right? Like a lot of these companies are out there, they're exploring early. The hardest part in this business is actually to make the discovery. We've made it, we've shown it's substantial, it's going to get a lot bigger, and then we're going to take that knowledge and apply it to the rest of our portfolio, which we've been doing the last couple of years, making other phenomenal discoveries on our Betty property, which is contiguous to the coffee. We're drilling 50 meters or 3.5 grams from surface. It's just unbelievable the type of success we're able to have right from surface here. So
how much more money did you have to spend on this specific project though before you can put a PEA to it or something more specific?
It's pretty much ready to go to a PA. We've done the work to go to a PA, so that's kind of probably in the next 12 months of our plan. And then from there, you move to a pre-feeds, which will probably requires more drilling. So the drilling we're doing is going to be twofold. One is to support the pre-feeds, also then to demonstrate, the additional growth potential.
Okay, and then from then on out, how do you finance it? Are you thinking you just go and finance it as Power One, mostly equity?
That's a good question. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we have Agnico Eagle as our largest shareholder. They've been a great partner, the Power One group, and other interested parties. We're not at that bridge yet, but we'll cross it. And I think what's nice is being a good jurisdiction with good partners that really sort of opens a lot of opportunities for us.